Everybody's focused, ladies and gentlemen, on Election Day coming up tomorrow. Now, some people, I suppose, may have voted already, but not us on Sportswire Radio. We're not so worried about Election Day because we're actually electing to be here live. We're electing to be here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you helped build. And of course, I have my work uniform because I've elected to put on my BTW shirt. Why? Because BTW right now is probably my favorite, or at the very top of the list of the favorite backyard companies that I have. We have a huge show that I'm going to be electing to watch tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Eastern time. And the man that we have right here, our guest, is going to be a huge part of that once again. And I have to ask him, where do we go from here when it comes to our guest, especially after last week at Halloween Day 2, where he once again came up short? But maybe he could take solace and he technically didn't get pinned. But we'll talk about what is the future. Plus, we'll talk with our guest on why is January 7th, 2025 important. Plus, I am sure some of the usual suspects that always get mentioned here on Sportswire Radio will be brought up, such as the names of like Comatose. I mean, after all, he's the GOAT of backyard wrestling, after all. I mean, after all, he says he's the GOAT. BES will always be brought up, and I'm sure RTG is out there, and I know he's going to have a lot to say on this one. And boy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this one. Now, I know that our guest has been here several times in the past, but I want to, since after all, we are on the eve, as some would say, Election Day. Although I guess apparently if you follow this stuff, a quarter of the country has already voted. But I'm going to elect to give our guest that introduction that he deserves, because after all, he's a whiskey star, and he may not quite be a whiskey lariat, as I refer to him on my TikTok and Instagram video, but he is definitely a whiskey star. He is definitely a bronze bulldog, and I don't want to get in his way, because certainly I am sure he's going to have a lot to say and a lot to do tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern time, BTW 8136 on YouTube. Be there or be square. We'll plug that. We'll show Halloween Day 2's match. But before we do all of that, it is time to give our guest, as I stated, that introduction that he deserves. Because after all, we are in prime time on a platform that he helped build. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give our guest that introduction to kick the week off in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So, with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. One of the greatest backyard wrestlers of this generation. One of the very best in BTW. His name is simply put the Whiskey Star. The Bulldog Jakob. My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing just fine, Tom. You kept that up for quite a while. I'm
I've been
very
trying to
impressed.
do different on the intros. I feel like at this point I've been doing it. Everybody sees them every. I'm trying to get more animated into it. I'm trying to add like air drums. I'm trying to add,
You went on
different
for
things.
like a good 2.5 minutes, I think.
I did actually. Yeah, I did. Actually. I did. I was like, you know what? We're on the eve of an election. Let me try to elect to do one of my longer intros in Sportswire history for the non-Hall of Fame ceremonies. You are the whiskey star. I do have my BTW work uniform on. And I just thought, let me do something a little different, a little special here for the audience, and try to get a little more animated because maybe we need that. Maybe we need some more animation. I don't know, but it is good to have you. There's a lot to talk about because we were talking about this off the air, and I'm almost conflicted tonight with you. Not conflicted in wins and losses or maybe lack of wins or championships recently, but kind of what we'll talk about maybe in the second half of the show in regards to your career in the backyard wrestling circuit. We'll definitely get to that later on, but let's talk about the current tense here first. And we'll go back and obviously watch last week's show, Halloween Day 2. Love, obviously, the show and always talking BTW here. As I stated, BTW has become pretty much either my number one or at the very top of the list of backyard wrestling companies that we cover here. But let's start it off here in the current. For those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, the whiskey star, the bronze bulldog, Jakob Frost. What can we expect from you tomorrow night? BTW Season 6, Episode 141.
The triple threat between Comatose and BES is gonna be difficult because Comatose beat me.
Yep.
I've beaten BES, but he's also beaten me. And then Comatose hasn't even won against BES yet. But that could all change tomorrow if he pins him. It's going to be tough because Comatose is very unorthodox. His style, the way he moves.
I'm aware.
The way he moves, his moves in general are they're different, to say the least. And I've put BES at the top, very top of my list as people that.
Oh my God, BES. We've talked about him a couple weeks ago. What he does, I don't know how he does it.
People can say whatever they want about the trampoline, but even without the trampoline, he can move like the best gymnast in the world, and it's insane.
You know my feelings. Copper Dragon said that trampoline is good, and he said BTW is good. That's all I need to know. After that, Copper Dragon said it. Then I'm like, okay, Copper Dragon said it. I'm going with that.
Oh yeah, he did review Comatose versus RJS, didn't he? I forgot about that.
Yes, so obviously when Copper Dragon says something, I'm going with that. But there's no question. You have a lot. Listen, you have your hands full. You have your hands full tomorrow.
I do. I just got out of a triple threat between Blackout and Swift, and my body's not used to all the wear and tear still, even though I've been back for 2 seasons now. So it's a little bumpy, a little hurt, little rough, to say the least.
Look like you're having some problems here right now.
Yeah. Well, as I think Sean Stone put it in the past, that I am pound for pound probably one of the strongest in BTW, and I am showing it right there. Obviously.
I think you're one of the strongest in BYW altogether, not just in BTW, but
my powerlifting past has really helped me out with that. I don't work out as much as I used to, but I still try to keep up with my body. Still got that strength to me, even if it's a little less than what I had, like let's say in high school. But
we won't hold it against you.
No, after you graduate, shit changes. So
understood.
But the test of strength. I think Jack Delta said in the comments that he's never seen a 3-man test of strength. So here it is, Mr. Delta. Here it is for you in all your glory.
Well, we're going to find out, and I'm going to be electing to watching that tomorrow at 6:00 Eastern time. But, you said something interesting, and I want to go back to it. We'll obviously go and watch Halloween Day 2 in about 5 or 10 minutes, but you just competed in one triple threat, and now you're going to be in another triple threat. And it's a really short turnaround here. And it almost reminds me, I have a background in covering college sports, college basketball and college soccer specifically. And I'm going to have some coverage of that here in a couple of weeks. And sometimes I would talk to these athletes or coaches where they'd play one game and then all of a sudden they'd have to go back and play, in some cases, 24 hours later or even the next day after and have to travel in between. So it's kind of the same way here. 5 days ago, you wrestle for the BTW World Championship against Swift, a man you have plenty of history with, and Blackout. And now you're going up against another man that you have plenty of history with recently here and in BTW and Comatose, and then BES. So how do you prepare for such a short turnaround and get ready to go and wrestle in yet another triple threat match?
It is hard to prepare because you have these 4 guys with completely different styles.
Absolutely.
As I said, Comatose is unorthodox. He's not like an all-rounder. He doesn't do all the styles, but he has like specific styles he does. Obviously, BES is a high flyer and a striker at the same time.
BES could be like one of these guys, like almost David Blaine. He could just be a Houdini. I mean, that's really what he's like, a magician. I'm going to go on the record and say this, Jacob Frost, and I want RTG, I want everybody in BYW and BTW out there to go put me on the record as saying this. I want this to be heard, and I want this to be said for years and years to come. To me, BES is the magician of the backyard wrestling circuit and what he does. You heard it first. He is the magician of the backyard wrestling circuit.
He can do things that like I couldn't even dream of doing. I'm a very agile guy. I'll give myself that, but BES is on a whole different level. He does moves and reversals like you don't even like. You're like, how in the
That's
hell?
what I'm saying. Listen, I don't know how he does them. That's why he's a magician. He is the definition of a magician.
He is one tough son of a bitch for his size. People will be like, "Oh, he's the size of a twig." Oh yeah, you couldn't even dream of facing him or even.
No, he's not as much of a twig as Wednesday's guest, Chase Wakefield, who's getting married and wants to do a wrestling super show. So we'll leave him later on, but continue.
But no, as I said, very all different styles. Swift is more of a powerhouse striker, but he also does some of those flips in between. I think in the triple threat he gave me a moonsault, which he has also given me a lot of moonsaults in the past. And Blackout is just like I don't even think he's human. I don't know where the hell RTG found him. I don't know if he found him in a cave somewhere.
I don't even want to ask.
I don't even want to know.
That's what I say. But how do you a lot of preparation? You went through such an intense match 5 days ago, and now you have to go up against, again, 2 of the very best. Period.
Having to go against Comatose. If I am being honest, if you had seen the match with Comatose, he did with like a suplex throw onto the middle of the trampoline. And I know RTG is gonna have a field day with this, as I told you so. But I did fuck up my shoulder there. So I did walk into the.
Thank you for letting us know and breaking the fourth wall. Literally.
I did walk into that triple threat a little injured. So I definitely wasn't on my A game. I definitely wasn't the top of my list of things I want to do, and it's not Comatose's fault at all. I don't want him to feel bad because I know I would have given him a shot.
I don't think Comatose will feel bad knowing Comatose. I don't think he'll.
I would have given him a shot at the BTW World Championship once I won it, but
that was something we talked about here. Listen, RTG obviously, he really didn't want to make that match. That was something that he didn't really want going into that. So
he can say in the chat, the all I told you so is all I want, but I don't regret facing Comatose because we had one hell of a match, and I walked in with my pride into that triple threat.
But could you have not made the point that, let's say you played it safe and just went into Halloween, that maybe you could very well be right now the BTW World Heavyweight Champion?
And I don't like to dwell on things I could have done.
Okay, I understand.
I saw a money match. I saw a very big opportunity to face someone that really thinks of himself as the self-proclaimed king. Let's call him that.
Well, he's been going around the last, I think, 4 or 5 months. He's been on this platform, and he's been building a resume for it. I mean, the way everything's happened in BYW the last few months, I mean, it's kind of fell into his lap. I brought it up here. It's kind of almost fallen into his lap that he might be the king right now of BYW.
Honestly, I would love to see Comatose go to different places. He's a very good listener, if I'm being honest. Like, me and him, we talked after the match, and like, we just talked about wrestling, and I showed him different things that he could do. And honestly, I would love to see him in places like ROEW, IMF, all those places. Those would be very, very good.
Well, right now, he's doing a pretty good job in BTW, and BTW is doing really good right now. A lot of views, a lot of followers, and right now, I think he's just wanting to continue to prove himself here in this company, and he's going to have another opportunity tomorrow night against you and BES.
And he will. And honestly, I'm going to try to bring whatever A game I am. I'm obviously not 100%, but I'm going to bring the biggest A game I got to that triple threat, and hopefully I'm going to walk out with the win. But I do have a big announcement tomorrow as well regarding November to Remember at the end of November of this month, of course. And you won't want to miss that, Tom.
I'm not. As I've stated, I'm voting to go be in BTW's chat tomorrow at 6:00 Eastern time. So I'm voting to be in the chat. So I just want to say to everybody, I think you missed me last week. This week you won't miss me because I'm going to be in the chat, and I think Zilla will be there. So you'll definitely want to be there, and that's going to be my vote.
It'll definitely change BTW for the future once it does happen, and if the man that I am challenging accepts. And then, of course, I got to get through RTG and all that shit. So,
but well, real quick, I know RTG's in the chat. We'll get to some people. We'll say hello to people, and we'll get to everybody.
RTG always seems to not be doing his real job, but he
doesn't have to though. He keeps winning. He just finds a way. He keeps winning. I mean, he just finds ways.
Finds ways to win, and honestly,
the match with RJS. I mean, how many times did RJS think that he had put away RTG, and that RTG finds ways? He just, at this point, I think he's going to be on top for the next 20 years in BTW. I think that he's going to live on. His career is never ending. That's just what I think.
It's funny that you say that, Tom, because I think next season will be my last season. I think it'll be RTG's as well. That's a prediction I got, honestly.
Oh, prediction.
If he's able to walk out of November to Remember, that's only if.
Well, he finds ways to beat everybody else. Comatose, took the tag titles away.
He does, but he could get himself in a situation that you have no idea if or how he's gonna win it, and I guess we'll just have to see. Honestly,
we'll certainly have to see, and we want everybody to follow BTW. As a matter of fact, before we go and watch your match at Halloween Day 2, I do have to make sure we give a big plug to BTW, because if I don't, RTG is going to never allow me to promote anything related to BTW again. So first of all, that's BTW's YouTube page. Give BTW a follow. They are almost at 3,100 subscribers. I'm almost at 1,300. They're almost at 3,100. So don't worry about giving me a sub. Give them a sub. We're very, very happy to have BTW here back on Sportswire. It's been a couple weeks, and it's definitely going to be back here in a big way. You just wait tonight. That's BTW's YouTube page. Go give them a sub. Then on Instagram, we have a big BTW Instagram page that I got everybody there here right now to go give a follow to. This is BTW's Instagram page. You can go out there and follow. You can see some of the photos, some of the thumbnails.
Please do.
Yes, please do. You can see some of the footage here. And there's Jakob Frost. We're going to get to that. I don't want to spoil it for the audience, although I think everybody saw it by now. A lot of people did. But you'll see some of the matches here. Main event. How about this main event? Comatose, BES, Jakob Frost. RTG is going to be in the house. RJS, the RJS Failure Tour continues to steal from Big Tech's last night's guest on Sportswire already. Gabriel James is in the house. Rick Manson, you got everybody here. The big names, the big guns, the big boys, the heavy hitters. They're all going to be here. Listen, Aaron Judge may have struck out for the Yankees in the World Series, but we got all the heavy hitters here in BTW, and they definitely don't strike out here. You are not going to want to miss this one. Go out there and support them. I always am a collaborator for all things related to BTW, so just join me and follow. You won't regret it. Okay, so we got that first plug out of the way. Now let's go and watch your match. And I know everybody's here. We'll say hello to you in a few minutes. People are starting to come in. So let's go like this. Let's go like that. And I have to go watch the ad first. But in the meantime, when the ad finishes, listen, you guys have the watch hours just like me. So we have to sit through the ad for a minute. We took care of that. Okay. Now let's go here. We're going to come back into it. And we're going to go right into, I think we are here now. Okay. So we're going to go into it. We're going to go right into your entrance. Let's talk about it here. Here we go. And Jakob Frost, Mr. Whiskey Star yourself, the Bronze Bulldog, where it's main event time. And tell us what you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling nervous. Obviously, my shoulder's not 100%, as I said, and it's kind of shooting into my neck. So I hesitate a lot in this match because, I just don't want to don't want to re-injure something or injure something else. But honestly, I think the one mistake me and Swift made, even though I hate his guts, is that we didn't team up on Blackout. I feel like if we had teamed up on Blackout, we could have probably just had a one-on-one, and then the best man could have won the BTW.
Is that, though, because of your hatred of each other over the past better part of 2 years that you guys couldn't almost get yourselves to do that, and hence that was why you weren't able to focus and eliminating Blackout?
It's funny you say that, because as much as I hate this man, as much as the hatred, I look at him and I just feel the hate in my heart. I was willing to save him. I saved him from Blackout, actually, like literally 30 seconds in from the match, and then he super kicks me in the face.
Wow,
So,
I mean, you have a long history with him. He's not going to trust
I do,
you.
but he could have been the bigger man there. We could have teamed up on RTG's Munster, and but that's what
I
he
think
didn't
you
want.
guys have way too much of a personal history to have had that happen. That's just my opinion.
And then, I don't even know what the hell he was going to go do. I didn't even know he was going to go grab a table part and just start smashing people with it. So,
well, you had plenty of history with intense matches with him on that. You had not thought that he would do that. I mean, and what better?
I didn't think he'd do it right off the bat.
Blackout?
Usually, I don't think Swift is usually all about weapons. Honestly, he's more of a brawler, non-weapon type. See, I was willing to save him right there, but he super kicks me in the face.
He's not going to trust you after everything you two have went through and the
knocks
wars
my
you
lights
had.
out. I'm about to save him, but I'm like, he super kicked me, so I'm just gonna big boot him.
Well, you know what? You guys are definitely three behemoths here, and everybody, I know you're in the chat. We'll say hello to you in a little while. But I mean, you're in a match like this, and you're with an injury. I mean, have you been in a situation like this before in your career?
The closest thing I would say is MEBW. I had a hurt finger, but honestly, a shoulder is way bigger.
I think a shoulder is way different than a finger. I played basketball and I had a finger injury before, but there's nothing like a shoulder
even
injury.
just like rolling into the ring, it hurt, and I was just hesitating a lot because I didn't want to try and fall on the shoulder.
Well, the drop kicks are still good there. You got basically your version of an enziguri there almost.
Yeah, I was trying to drop kick them and trying to miss my own.
And I think Mr. Frost is technical difficulties. But we're watching that in a very clever veteran tactic there with a low blow there. We're watching again. Jakob Frost, Swift, and Blackout for the BTW World Heavyweight Championship. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. Jakob Frost will be right back with us. He's having some technical difficulties here. If you want to follow BTW, it's at BTW8136 on YouTube. Also, BTW is on Instagram, TikTok, and they're in beautiful Roseburg, Oregon. God's country here right now. We are electing to watch BTW. We are electing. My vote is going to BTW tonight. But Jakob Frost, the good news is I am very. Don't worry about it. I'm very able to talk and for hours and upon hours. We were just talking about here how you guys are killing each other right now. And
yeah, I had to take a phone call real fast just to let them know what I'm doing.
Well, obviously phone calls definitely help, and I'm glad you elected to take that phone call.
Yeah, right there, I had when he chokeslammed me, I tried to land more on my feet than on my back, because if I landed on my shoulder, I probably could have been out for the rest of the match. You can kind of see me like holding my arm a little bit.
Holding your arm, though, does that draw attention to you in a way that, and Jakob Frost, again, has certainly had some connecting issues, so hopefully he comes right back, and Swift is definitely taking it out on Jakob Frost, and hopefully Mr. Frost comes right back onto Sportswire Radio, but we are here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and we are certainly seeing Swift and Jakob Frost. Now, for the audience, Swift and Jakob Frost have had a rivalry here for the better part of going on 2 years. Swift last year technically ended the career of Jakob Frost, but he was now under a different name. It's a different spelling. And Blackout, who you're watching, is the BTW World Heavyweight Champion. He is unstoppable. He has been flawless against the likes of RJS. And Jakob Frost, are you okay?
Yes, I finally put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I guess that's what's
Is Blackout trying to basically co-op your phone, or Swift trying to do something?
I guess Blackout's trying to hack into my phone.
You know what? At RTG, you know what? He does make a good point. Is Steven Storm basically trying to give you his internet? Is that what the problem was?
Maybe. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Who knows?
But now I'm back. I'm on Do Not Disturb, so hopefully I don't.
Good. Well, we hope that we can have you here for the next hour or so. We appreciate that. You tell him that you're on Sportswire in prime time, and you'll be back. You'll be back in an hour. But
and right here is where everything goes to shit for me. I landed right on my shoulder, and it doesn't feel good, if I'm being honest. I don't even know how the hell I kicked out, honestly.
How did you kick out?
The amount of adrenaline that I produce is insane, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I don't even, like, sometimes I do stuff, and I'm just like, I don't even know how the hell my body is.
Was it adrenaline? Was it just like, hey, this is a big match, it's a world title?
Maybe a little bit of desperation, adrenaline, you know. I think, honestly, my brain is in the big match feel, so I'm just like, I need to do this. You know, right here, I'm about to come in and attack Swift, but then he gives Blackout the Swiftinator, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get in on this.
Well, you definitely did that here, and you did, again, just almost a version of some sort of power bomb there.
Yeah, a tiger driver.
Well, that's why I said so. I'm going to go with the Jack Delta line because he always says, I don't know a lot about wrestling. I mean, I obviously watch wrestling, but I don't know the move procedure. But I kind of got the idea. But that was definitely maybe a kind of a desperation move, a last gas move.
I really needed to take Blackout out. If I'm being honest, that's what was going through my head.
Oh, that's a very difficult thing to do in BTW.
Very much is. The amount of pain my body was in after that ripcord lariat he gave me on the platform, and the way I landed and everything like that. I don't even know how I was getting up that fast, honestly.
And then you dealt with what just Swift did to you just now.
Yeah, Swift gave me a shining wizard.
You got Swift boated, basically.
Pretty much. I save his ass, and then he, gives me a shining wizard for my trouble, so.
Oh. Well, obviously here, Blackout, Swift thinks he has him, and then now he has him. And, I mean, just Swift, I mean.
Oh, Peacock.
Yeah. Well, we'll take that off the screen, unfortunately, but we'll have to wait. There you go. That's what's good, though, for RTG, though. He must be happy that we got to see that ad.
Oh, I bet he is enthralled.
Well, you know what? I'm a happy man, too, and people watch my shows with ads. But that's a different show for a different time. But, again, Swift and Blackout are obviously going at it here, and this kind of gives you maybe a little bit of time. You feel right now with
I don't usually take to the air. I mean, people see me take to the air in past, and there was a 5-way for Derek Destroyer's channel ACW that I went to the Sky. I also went to the Sky in the match against RJS earlier in the season, and then right here as well. I think I do my most graceful one I've done.
I tell you what. I mean, we got to watch this again. I mean,
if I had rotated a little more, I probably could have landed on my feet. If I'm being honest, but
all right. So we'll come back.
I honestly want to get the most damage in.
Let's see if we can get another angle.
Yeah, about right there. I'd say gives a little time for us to talk right before it happens.
Yeah. Well,
honestly, if I had more over rotated, I probably could have landed on my feet, and it would have been a great moment. But I took the more damage route. If I'm being honest, I wanted to try to land my body completely on the both of them, maybe incapacitate them for a little bit so I could rejuvenate.
That's a clever move. Clever veteran.
Because honestly, if Blackout had taken out Swift right here or vice versa and they had gone to me, I probably wouldn't have been able to get back up for...
Oh, man! Now that, I got to say, Jacob Frost, I don't know how you did that, good sir.
As I said, I'm a very agile man for my size, but
I could see.
I don't take to the sky, but you just gotta not think about it, and you just gotta do it.
Well, you definitely did that. I mean, you did that and some here, and you definitely paid for that and some. But you do get back up, but the Swift is not getting up. That's just
and Blackout is already kind of staring in line. I don't even notice.
Well, I mean, this was your effort to get back in the match here. And, obviously Jimbo is so funny as our referee, but you do find a way to give some type of bicycle kick there, right? It's
bicycle kick. And then I just have to just
biking. That slap and the headbutt. Boy, you are definitely, we can see you have a real fighting background, Jacob Frost. Jacob Frost, I wouldn't want to meet you in Nebraska.
When I was a little younger, I did take some boxing classes, honestly. But not a lot, obviously, just to know how to throw something, I guess.
I actually do know some boxers overseas. I'll actually let them know that if you want a career in boxing, maybe that'll work out for you. But in the meantime, stay in the wrestling world. You seem to be doing pretty well. But Swift has gotten up, and he gives, I guess, you actually reversed that sort of, I think, right?
I was able to get to my knees, but my head was still driven into the mat, so it still hurt like hell.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, definitely. That's going to leave a mark. And
hey, just decides to hit him with another Swiftinator onto me. So
now this was just like awkward. I mean, this was just like awkward. I don't know what else more I could.
I didn't even expect it. I was kind of like looking to my left a little bit, and then I look up and I just see Blackout and Swift coming down. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's obviously here nor there, but just now you see you're clutching your head there a little bit.
Yeah, when Swift had came down on me, his arm had driven my head into the back, so I went like kind of like a ricochet type thing. Like, did not feel good.
I could see it definitely not feel as good at all. I could definitely.
I think Blackout is mad about the strikes I gave him earlier. So,
well, I would be mad too, but obviously you three are just, I mean, three of the most physical men in our circuit, and you guys are just killing each other. That's why, like, I'm just almost flabbergasted. You're going to be in action tomorrow after what we're seeing right now, and you just walk over both these guys. I mean, you just walk over them. I just thought that was just like, I mean, just what was, kind of.
Yeah, I was just trying anything at that point. I'm on my last legs, my last gas. I'm just like, whatever I can do to at least damage them a little bit, keep them down for long enough. I need to do it. And right here, especially, I lock in my submission, the Sub-Zero on both of them at the same time.
And you thought here this was going to be it?
I honestly didn't know how either of them are going to get out, especially Blackout since he's under Swift. I thought, but I forgot he's Blackout and he never taps the hell out.
His name is Blackout. I mean,
yeah.
His
but
name
of course,
is
the resilience of Swift and Blackout also pushing him up a little bit throws me off, and I'm really feeling it now. My adrenaline is wearing off and everything like that, and especially right here is when it all goes downhill for Jakob.
Yeah, well, if you took those chair shots from Blackout, you too would definitely black out. But, I saw this on Halloween, and definitely this was Halloween. It was trick or treat, obviously, Swift style. Could you imagine Swift knocking on your door for Halloween candy?
I would probably scare me, honestly, if he saw me at the door.
Well, you know what? I think I would just give him all the candy I had. Here you go, take the candy. But obviously, he's now using a trash lid, and obviously that's.
I tried to roll to my back because Blackout had attacked my chest with the chair. So,
well, you've got the head, the chest, the shoulder. I mean, you're almost like the board game operation. Every body part you have, they're going.
I'll be honest, Tom. After this match, my body was probably more screwed. If I'm being completely honest, because as you said, they are two absolute.
BS and Comatose are thanking you right now because you basically just told them basically how you feel.
They can come after me. They can attack any part of my body, but as you see in this match, I'm not going to stop until, my body completely forces.
Well, I'll tell you what, the way Blackout just threw down Swift. Yeah, I think it's going to be All She Wrote or Murder She Wrote, the famous Angela Lansbury show way back in the time. I'm sure RTG watched that one. And yeah, that pile driver there is going to certainly be rest in peace. And Blackout continues his reign as the reigning defending BTW World Heavyweight Champion. And Jakob Frost, you may have tried one.
I tried. I think a little bit of adrenaline had finally kicked back in, and I tried to get back in there, but I couldn't in time.
Well, you know what? Obviously, you did try. You gave it the old college try, but not enough. And once again, you come up short.
I do.
And Jimbo gets paid, I think, right?
Jimbo. And Los Diego, too. We had 2 rests for that shit.
Well, I'm sure Steven Storm's in the chat, and I'm sure he's ruining the day there. But very physical match, very intense. And unfortunately, though, you don't walk away with gold. And
I do not.
Still no regrets about going through a match with Comatose before this?
I do not, no. I do not regret it. Because I loved every second of the match, even if it resulted in me losing this world title match. No matter what. I don't regret any decision I've really made.
But it could have been a different outcome because you were right there in this match. You were definitely right there.
I was. I really was. And honestly, I still don't regret it, even if I knew the outcome would have been different completely 100%. But you just never know, because even if I was at 100%, maybe the match would have gone completely different and not my way. It could have gone completely different in my way. Just really never know when you're in the ring.
I want to ask you this question. I know there's a lot of people in the chat. I want to let everybody say hello to you and then talk about something that I think took some people by surprise, and then I'll have a surprise for you at the end of the show, but you'll probably, I'm sure, figure out who the surprise will be, but we'll leave that at
Shit.
that. Yeah, well, there'll be a surprise. Let's put it that way. But you know, going into the last month of this season, November to Remember is coming up. We are now days away from. I feel like it was just yesterday I spoke with you for the first time, and here we are now at the end of the season. How important is it for you, really, not only to win tomorrow, but have a huge month ahead? Because RTG, he's not wrong on some of these things. It's been a trying season for you. So, like, how important is it for you this month to have a huge month to close out this season?
If people can look at my last season and this season, it's completely different. I came in, won the Continental Championship, and held it for completely the whole season.
You were dominant. Absolutely.
This season, I mean, I did win some matches and I lost some matches. I didn't win any gold, but honestly, I enjoyed this run more than I did last run.
Wait, what?
Even I just had more fun, I think. I think last season I had something to prove. It was my return to the yard. I had very big, high expectations, I think, above my head. And,
RJS, fun and defeat? Fun and defeat?
RJS has said in the past that I've lose expectations out of the water. And honestly, if you watch the matches with, like, him and me, me versus BES, me versus Comatose, you can tell I'm having fun. You can just see it in my face.
Listen, we've talked about this on and off the air. BTW, I mean, every week it's banger after banger after banger after banger. It's basically all killer, no filler. I mean, literally, it's all killer, no filler in BTW. But I just find that rather from a guy like yourself who's been very established, very successful in the backyard wrestling circuit on and off for over half a decade, to say that I'm having fun in defeat. Last night, my guest, Big effing Tex, who's had title shot after title shot, and he couldn't quite win the big one. We were talking with him, and it was almost like, I don't know what to say to help this guy. I prayed for him. I felt sorry for him, and it was like, this guy couldn't figure out what to do next. But you, on the other hand, who's come up short, almost in a way, kind of similar in all these title matches against all these big guys, you're like, yeah, I'm just having fun and I'm having a good time. And I just find that rather interesting, that response.
As I said, I had something to prove last season. I had something to prove to everybody, and I blew people's expectations out of the water. And then I was asked by RTG to come back, and I saw this as an opportunity to have a good time. And I love wrestling. I love putting banger after banger out. I love being, even though, I could go at RTG's throat, I love being around everyone. Even if, we got some tension in the locker room because, we're all beating each other and all that. So, but I love being around those guys because it's always a fun time. It's always rowdy. It's always just reminds me really the old days of when I was younger with JNA and all that. So,
well, you guys are a great group. I gotta say this, to break the fourth wall. You guys are a great group. I mean, everybody in BTW, it's just all class, all professionalism. Everybody here. I mean, there's really we had so much, and I don't want to get into it at this point. So much.
No, I'll get into it for you, Tom. To break the fourth wall, all these fucking guys are great.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say,
as I've said.
Well, I was about to say, everybody here in this company, it's like all professionalism. Just everybody's class. Everybody's just like, it's like, I want to root for you guys, all of you. I mean, I can't.
People say they don't want their job to be like a family or that shit, but BTW is a family. We feel like a family. They treat you like family. Like RJS, when I was first brought in, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know. This is my first time traveling alone. And he gave me a roof. They gave me food. They gave me, I just felt like it was a second family there. And honestly, if you're thinking about traveling to BTW, and I'll say this over and over again, just ask Ryan, and he will help you in any way he can. And they will treat you like their own son. RTG always calls me the Cornhusker son or some shit. I always find it funny. I always love it. I love being there, and honestly, we'll get to it. And I'm so fucking sad that January 7th will be my last.
I'm gonna get to that after we clear the chat. I'm going to get to that, but I just want to say that there's been a lot that's been outside the ring, and we're not going to get into that at this point. But I want to say in the ring with BTW, it has just been the professionalism. You guys, I want to say this. I want to go on the record of this. RTG may kill me for saying this, but I want to do it. You guys are like the New York Yankees of the backyard wrestling circuit. It's all professionalism. Everybody holds themselves in a certain way, and just there's just this level of just almost it just really. I mean, you guys are in God's country, so it's poetic for me to say this. It's a breath of fresh air the way you guys are. Honestly, it's you and ROEW. You guys hold yourselves in almost the same way.
And as you said, we put on bangers and like
Every week.
We filmed that in like 5 days, like the whole.
Oh, don't spoil!
Like
I just told you you're on 5 days rest, and
it's insane. I love every second of it, even though if my body feels like completely crap afterwards, I'll never regret my time in BTW ever.
And I love BTW, and I could talk BTW 7 days a week on sports, but then people will be like, "All right, now it's time to throw me off the air." But we love BTW. I cannot stress enough all the great things about BTW. Before I finally get to the chat, I know people are waiting to talk to you. This is BTW's YouTube page. I cannot stress this enough.
For the love of God, give them love, because this next season, if everything goes to plan, which you already had something go off plan, but that's. What happens. But if everything else goes to plan, I think this season will probably be the best season for them. And even RJ said it. This season, you need to watch next season once it starts coming.
Oh, listen, what do I always say? The best is yet to come, and I think BTW.
This what we got planned. This shit is gonna be insane.
Well, don't say anything, please.
I saw. What was that one guy that said he was gonna win the world title? Something like that.
It was Craven Rage. Yeah, I won the title, and it was like it took him 5 months to really put himself over it, guys. But let's move on from that. We are very excited about BTW. Let's get to the chat finally. Zilla's been waiting for this. I know Zilla, you gotta just spell it with the E, but we got the point. She'll be in the chat tomorrow. She's been excited. Yes, we love Zilla. Zilla's everywhere.
Hello.
Yes, and he is here, of course.
No. Hello, RTG. Hello.
Yes, hello there. My friend, Mr. Magnum Carter from YBW. I have YBW coverage coming up here in like a week or two. So how you doing, Magnum? Nice to see you.
Hello, Magnum.
And hello to BTW. Yes, hello. Let's see who else we got. Now she spelled it right. There we go. The Bronze Bulldog, Jacob Frost. But this guy's here, and I don't know. Maybe he's coming to BTW.
If he wants to come September 1st to the 7th, hit up RJS.
I think he's got some dates available now. He's the PWF champion, but I hear he's got some availability now, at least from what I heard.
We're cooking Justin Parsley.
Well, you know what? We'll have to find out. I'm sure Mr. Parsley will be here next week on Sportswire because the IMF is back a couple times.
Making strides and full of pride. Isn't pride like one of those sinner things, I guess? Yeah.
Well, the Sinners changed members. I think Isaiah Rage is out. Ox McCoy is taking over in leadership skills. Justin says he's the leader.
I think Justin is the leader of the Sinners or something.
I think so.
On your show, I was kind of like,
I know, and that happened that went way. I mean, I didn't even know what was going to happen there. All we did was, he said something, and it turned into literally the presidential election almost. One side hates you, the other side likes you. And I was like, I didn't know what was going to be that big of a deal.
That greatest man to ever live shit. That's crazy. Does he even know who that is? He's talking about Sinners or something.
I got it. I think it's himself. I think Justin Parsley.
Hold on. How could he? You've seen him on the show, but how could he be typing to himself if he's on his phone though? That's the only.
Because he's a 7-time Hall of Famer. He loves hearing himself. He's a DJ. He definitely knows how to multitask. He knows how to.
You think it's him? I think it's someone else. I'm not too sure.
I think it's him. I tell you what, I 100%. You know what? Because I think Omen said it. I think Omen and Soldier mentioned it. I think if they mentioned it, they convinced me a little bit. I'm pretty sure they said it on one of the shows because it would definitely make sense because he's a DJ. He knows how to multitask. He certainly thinks of himself in a very, a very high way, or highway, my way or the highway. He's a leader now. I mean, I think that definitely he could be the guy. You know,
honestly, I wish Justin could be here because I would love to see his face when we're talking about this. I
actually,
think
well,
it's
James
not me.
Taylor. It's funny because James Taylor wanted him here Friday, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. But I think right now he's probably not in the chat anymore. But I'm sure he'll appreciate himself
No,
being.
Justin, if you want to come in here, we can talk fucking greatest man ever live or whatever. We can do that for you, brother. Don't worry.
You know, some people would say it'd be James Taylor, but James Taylor's a big Stone Cold fan. He's got a lot of followers. I don't think it's James Taylor.
I swear to God, every time I click a story, something about Stone Cold or like The Rock, I'm just like, Jesus.
Yeah, you know it's funny. When I think about Stone Cold, I don't even think about Stone Cold anymore. I think about James Taylor.
That must be crazy. If you think about
No,
James Taylor,
seriously.
Stone Cold,
You know,
like,
well, hello, Justin Parsley. And I hope
hello,
you're doing well.
Justin.
And, speaking of people that I'm sure we're going to talk about in a little while again, Comatose is in the
Hello,
house.
Comatose.
Yes, I think he's speaking of himself. There you go. He's speaking of himself. Zilla's a big Justin Parsley fan, in case you didn't know.
Yes, the Sinners.
And Mr. Six Star.
You own part of that PWF, don't you?
I own 1/3 of it. Yes, I do. What? You want to ask me something about? I mean, I'd love to have you.
I was just wondering.
I would love to have you in the. I want to say it. I would love to have you in the PWF. I mean, anybody in BTW is welcome. I don't even know what we're doing with the PWF.
I don't know either. Honestly,
I just know Justin's the champion. I mean, I don't know what else.
Justin's the champion. That's the only thing I know about it.
You know what? That's about what I know about it. Actually, I only own 1/3. If I own 2/3, it'd be a different conversation. But speaking of people that are here.
Hello, James Taylor. Hello, Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. You know, he is the ROEW owner. You know, I mean, obviously.
Yes, the ROEW. As much as I'd like to go there, I just don't really know where I'd be able to fit it in right now.
Though, well, we're gonna get to that in a little while. We're going about probably.
We'll talk about places. We'll talk about places. Don't worry.
We'll talk about that in about 10 minutes. Hello there. Yes, hello there. Yep, I think BS is definitely the Houdini of the backyard wrestling circuit. Look at that. My comments were on the BTW page. Yes, I did put that up voting. Episode 141. RTG agrees. Unfortunately, there was someone with more pride. Oh, I see. I see that. My man Barry Gutman's in the house. Barry is the hardcore gamer. Barry is doing game streamings Thursday at 11 o'clock. I don't know if I'll be on the stream, but I'll be in the chat. My man Barry was with me the last time I didn't have mutton chops. You've seen the photo by now, right?
I think, yeah, I did see the photo.
All right, then I won't play it on the screen again. We'll move about that. Also, Zilla wants to say sorry about that. I made that match, Jacob Frost and Comatose, because it was one of my dream matches I wanted. So
Zilla, as I said,
trying to apologize.
Zilla, as I said, you're fine. I wanted the match, and I asked for the match. You gave it to us, so I'm not mad. I like the match.
I loved watching the match, but some could make the case that you could have been the BTW champion, if that match didn't happen.
People can make that case all they want, but honestly, I think I'm one of the best BTW Continental champions, and now RTG is going to be like, oh, but
That's not quite how he speaks, but I'll move on to the next comment.
Yeah, close enough.
Well, hello there from Barry. Yes, hello.
Hello.
And yes, hello there he does say hello to you. He does say hello.
Hello, Mr. RTG. Hello.
All right, let's go to some more comments. Blackout, the main event player, while Swift and Frosty come up just a little short.
I don't want to talk to you tonight, RTG.
Okay, well, we'll move on. Speaking of people fellow trampoliners who have made the adjustment to the ring, Nolan Money McDermott, he certainly had a mouthful, he said last week on Sports.
Yo, isn't that Kermit the Frog ripoff or some shit?
I don't.
With the frog ripoff.
I think Star Wars maybe, but I do know it's Nolan Money McDermott. He is from the great
McMuffin McDonald's, something like that.
Well, that was what Omen and I think Soldier was saying to him. But he's certainly made a lot of waves. He certainly pinned Sean Jovi Thursday on Halloween, and also he had a lot to say to James Taylor, and the other people that.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You can't lace my boots. Let's move on, Tom.
Okay, fair enough. I'll move on. But he's a big man, Nolan Money McDermott. But he is from Illinois. And yes, Jill is a big fan. Let's go on here. We talked about that already. Speaking of people, Steven Storm's in the house.
Hello, Steven. Speaking of Steven Storm's in, right? Hello, Steven. Hello.
How you doing, Steven Storm? Zilla's got this question, but that's for RTG. I have 3 questions for the owner and GM of BTW RTG. How long have you been wrestling? When did you start wrestling? And who was your inspiration? I think RTG has an answer for that.
I can answer that first question for him. He's been wrestling since the dinosaurs, so
That's WCE, guys. That's Nolan Money McDermott was wrestling. That's not RTG, good sir. He wins matches. But Zilla has this question for you. It's the same question, pretty much.
Okay.
So I'll let Zilla answer.
I have been wrestling since 2017, so I would have been 12. Yeah, 12. Early 2017, like, well, actually middle, about around May, I think, actually. May 2017, I started wrestling.
I think you answered that before the first time.
Yeah, I'll answer it again. It's okay. In JNA.
Zilla can ask anything she wants. So go ahead.
Then I went to MEBW around when I was 15, in WWA around when I was 16, and then I went pro for a little bit, did training, went on the indies for a little bit, realized that, like, I just needed a better opportunity because the guy I trained from was it was just one guy, really. And he's trained other people, but, like, it was just kind of like, I need to go to a school, I think.
Yeah, my friend I'm friends with a guy, Chris Urban, who took him like 5 years to have his first match. And now he's like decently in the indies in New Jersey.
I'm going to a school. So, that's the thing. But, and then I stopped doing that, and it took me about a year to go to BTW, I believe, or something like that. I was in BTW when I was 18, 19, and now I'm going to be in BTW when I'm 20, so.
Well, it sounds great. I mean, it sounds exciting.
When I started wrestling, I answered that in wrestling, and my inspirations, I have a lot of inspirations. I really like Japanese wrestling, Puro, if you want to call it that. Like Misawa, Kobashi, and all them. I really watch a lot of old Noah.
Nicholas Prenton mentioned that here a couple weeks ago. I think it was Nicholas
old
Prenton.
ROH and old Noah is really my jam. But I watch a lot of obscure shit too,
Well, it's funny you said that. Dean Allmark, that's what he said was his inspiration when he was getting into wrestling. This is way back in the time machine, obviously, but his influences were Japan first. That was
and you can kind of see that in some of my moves. Obviously, I do the Emerald Flosion, which was Misawa's finisher sometimes. My finisher is obviously his Tiger Driver.
You saw you do that in the match here we just saw.
Yeah, I did it when you were talking about the powerbomb variation.
Yes,
so.
yes.
But I just love watching Japanese stuff. I just watch like Noah. Really is all. I don't really watch like any WWE or AEW or.
Well, you know what? What I say all the time. I almost barely watch WWE. Why? Because I'm watching backyard and underground wrestling.
It just doesn't tickle my fancy. Let's say that it just doesn't do that to me. I know people will be like, AEW's pay-per-view is so good, and then I'm just like,
well, you know what? That's like, listen, I played basketball and I covered for a while college basketball, and I was into the NBA, but I don't watch the NBA anymore because I covered college basketball. I played basketball, so I played it, at a reasonable level. So for me to go out and watch the NBA when I'm in the college game and the high school game, it's kind of the same thing in the wrestling world. So great question.
It's very fun though to be a wrestler and still be a fan because I'll pop into WWE and AEW once in a while. Like last WWE thing I watched I think was Mania where Gunther versus Sami Zayn, and when Sami Zayn did the Brain Buster, that shit had me out of my seat. I was like, fuck yeah.
Well, that's I could certainly see why. And yes, RTG will be back on Sportswire in the next couple of weeks, but he'll be here. He's going to be here. Now, I promise you, we're going to have
I'll be there for your RTG. Don't worry.
Well, and he's going to be back. Salute my friend President Zaddy.
Hello.
The Woo Riders is Jacksonville. Zaddy is the one that's looking to be in the wrestling world. Yes, I just answered you that. So figure if RTG is available, we'll see him on November 25th. There you go.
Wow, 5 days before November to remember.
We have to promote it. What better way? I have nobody booked that day, so I figured, why don't just right off the flight. He likes to be on late, so that'll be great. I will say this is our best season, in my opinion.
RPG, this was a really good season. I think so, too. Some stuff could have done some work on, but I think next season, once everything gets down and dirty with it, I think it'll be way better.
I think every day gets better. Every day gets better. Hello to RTG. Yes, RTG liked my line, all killer, no filler. And yes, you guys are definitely the best the best backyard company in history. Yeah, I would say. I don't know if it's a lot of history. I have to think about it.
There's a
Copper
lot of
Dragon
history. I'd say we're probably top
in there.
15.
5.
Top
Yeah, I don't
15.
know because Copper Dragon, his company GWC Intensity, is in there. You got old ESW. I mean, there's a lot of companies. You were part of one MEBW. If I say you're the greatest, I got the GBWN guys. Well, we'll get really mad. It'd be the GBYWN if I don't include whoever else is there. Sick Rick is here, I think, next week. So I'm gonna just say that BTW currently is one of the very best companies, right there with ROEW. How does that sound?
That's fine with me.
I think we'll go with that. And Zilla wants to confirm that she's not. I hadn't thought about that. Zilla,
But she might be the greatest Zilla to ever live.
RTG, stop it, RTG. And also, she wants to know why did you think that? And speaking of people, by the way, I got to give a big shout out to. Now, I don't know if you know this guy. His name is Mr. Brightside, Oswald Brightside. Some people say he's got the best character or gimmick in backyard and underground.
You have mentioned him, but honestly, I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Well, Nolan Money McDermott was giving him some problems, and let's just say that Sean Jovi's had a few nightmares about him, and he wants to know who you are. Well, we're talking with Jacob Frost, a man that wrestles in the great state of Roseburg, Oregon, for our friends BTW. And by the way, Mr. Brightside, since after all, we are in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. This is their YouTube channel, so do me a favor.
How many subscribers now? Like 3,000.
80 plus.
Okay. I thought it was 18. I was like, damn.
Well, it's a lot of subscribers. I mean, RTG, I'm sure, is looking at the count. I mean, he knows,
Oh, RTG's always looking at that count.
Actually, so am I at this point, actually.
He gets a new subscriber dings on his computer. He just goes and runs after it. He's like, oh, shit.
Well, you know what? At this point, I know the feeling. I mean, so I have to say. Let's just get to some more comments. Now, here's a good one from RTG. Hey, Frosty and Dumatos. I'm thinking of making a new belt for next season for just you two. The BTW Biggest Whiner Championship. Right now, Dumatos hold it since he's beaten you. RTG.
RTG, you're like 50, dude. Put the fries in the bag, bro. Move on.
Do you think he's got a Wendy Frosty, by the way, yet?
That's the only nickname he can ever come up with me is either Jack Frost or Frosty or some bullshit like that. RTG, you are just... I cannot wait for you to retire, and that'll be the greatest day ever.
It may be years
even if I'm long gone from the guard. I will be watching.
That may be years from now, good sir.
I will be watching just to see if he ever retires. And the day it happens, I will be popping bottles.
We'll stay tuned. I just don't have time to get it made and put it on you or him yet, RTG. You got more comments here. Let's get to them. But certainly Nolan Money McDermott has a lot to say. Kermit, rip off the best you got. You couldn't lace my boots, buddy. Wish you could be as money.
You have made 0 dimes. I have made at least $40. Move on.
Okay, fair enough. And Comatose wants to say, when that happens, I'll get 6 stars that match too. Well, speaking of people that are here, and because they're here Wednesday night, and I guess the bat signal has been rung because I see him here and I have to give him the plug because if I don't, it will be a big, big problem I'll have. Mr. Chase Wakefield. Why is Chase Wakefield important? There's a lot of people here tuned in right now. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. Chase Wakefield is talking about apparently he's getting married next year. Now, congratulations. But on top of that,
Chase.
He's holding a wrestling super show, which for the love of me, I'm still not sure how his beautiful better half agreed to this, but that is the case. And Jacob Frost, would you like to be invited to this and potentially?
I would love to but I actually saw one of the stories. He's trying to do an old Global Backyard Wrestling Network thing. Where
BYWN, yes.
Yep,
correct.
he's just trying to do kind of like that kind of show. And honestly, I watch that type of shit all the time. I posted on my my other life channel. But I love that shit, and honestly, even if I'm not invited, I will watch it.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna take liberty at that because I'm gonna have Mr. Wakefield on here. He's becoming a regular on Sportzwire, and I'm gonna ask if you should be invited, and I'm gonna invite you. For whatever reason, I'm gonna invite
if it's
you.
even 25% or even 50% of what those shows used to be, it's gonna be really fucking good.
I think I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get in big trouble for this. I think that this is going to potentially be one of the greatest wrestling super shows in history. I know.
It's tough to put a super show on because you got all these different people coming in from different places. Money
But
issues,
he's got
especially nowadays.
experience, though. He's got experience.
It does take the experience, but there's, especially in the economy now, the money problem, the travel problems, all that shit. You never know what's gonna happen.
Well, he's going to certainly apparently use his Bitcoin billions to help. He's a Bitcoin billionaire, apparently. And he met Elon Musk, apparently. So I guess,
shit!
yeah. So this guy,
Did he give you a Tesla?
I don't drive, but I'm sure he got one. But Hazel, I'm doing good. Yes, we love Steven Storm, and we hope to see him very soon back on Sportswire. And let's get this one on. Well, don't worry, we're gonna get to him. I gotta get to everybody here. Hello there, Zilla. Oh shit, I didn't realize Brightside was in here. Oh hell yeah, so he knows Brightside. Okay,
I'm glad you know I'm comatose.
And by the way, Mr. Wakefield has some praise for you. I have always been a fan of Jacob. Sadly, I could never make it to Oregon.
Chase, I have watched you, and I think VTW, and I think you were in DBW, wasn't he as well? I feel like
DBW.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah,
he was in there for like, I don't think it was really long, but it was like
NUW,
I remember last time.
I think he's been NUW, Navon McDonald.
Yes, NUW. I've definitely seen him from. I've watched him recently in VTW.
VTW.
I want to say yes. Okay, yes. And I've watched him in all those places, and I really like him. And I really like the Bitcoin millionaire bit. That's so fucking funny and really good.
Yes, he was Aaron Jones' best friend. I mean,
I did. I really like that too. I loved watching that. That shit was fun.
Another man you could tangle with one day. But,
I would, VTW is definitely a place I would love to be. Honestly,
a lot of great talent.
I know a couple people there, so maybe I could pull some strings eventually. But
you know what? I got Mr. Wakefield here. He's got more comments. I feel like the feds that were always on my radar was BTW. Been watching some of your guys' stuff for
Chase. Next year, I mean, you can come any goddamn time, even if I'm not there. They will fucking wrestle you to your heart's content, my brother.
And you know what? RJS has defeated Navon McDonald. So, I mean, he's very comfortable.
Yes, he has.
And you know what? I think Comatose and Chase Wakefield and Swift and Chase Wakefield and BES and Chase Wakefield. I mean, you put the two of them together, it still may not equal one of you. But
even if I'm not there, I would love to see like Chase there. I'd love to see Delta there. I would love to see CJ Black, Jason Storm. C Money, all those guys there. I would love.
Well, LaFlame talked about. Well, I talked about it with LaFlame, D'Angelo LaFlame, and that was,
D'Angelo is definitely. I think Comatose has definitely mentioned him to me in the past as someone he'd love to be there. And when they get there, I'm gonna be like, son of a bitch, I should be there, but I'm gonna be so happy.
Well, we're gonna get to that in about 5 minutes. We have a lot of comments. So a lot of people want to talk to you today. Yeah. How about
Jake B. Frosty?
Joke Frosty. How about Joke Frosty?
Okay. I thought that was an X.
Clever word. Hey, Chase, if you do ever end up in Oregon, if you ever make it to the North California area, let's run the ones. Steven Storm's in the running there. And he's been to Los Angeles. Now, Nolan Money McDermott has a response. I am the greatest of the backyard generation, the greatest trampoline in-ring rising star that's available. They all want to be me money.
This guy has 2 left feet, Kermit the Frog ripoff, and he thinks he draws money when he's a backyard guy.
I actually have 2 left feet, so I am going to plead the fifth.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tom.
It's a joke. I don't have 2 left feet. That was always my joke. Because when I was growing up, it took me like hard to walk straight for till I was like 10, and then it was like I figured it out. So that was my running joke. He would love to come back. You never know, to Los Angeles. If you love the GBYWN, then you'll love what we've got in store for Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And by the way,
I'm gonna actually plug myself right here, Tom.
Yes.
If Chase, I'm always posting GBYWN on my Pro Wrestling Footstop channel on Instagram.
Can I put that on the screen, by the way? Can I put that on the screen?
Yeah, put that fucking on the screen. I got 10K followers on that shit.
I gotta make sure. I gotta ask first. I didn't get permission.
I know I've said in the past I don't want them to mix, but like I'm retiring.
That's why I asked. That's why I want to make sure. But
I'm retiring soon, so I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care.
Well, you know what? If I got about 9 or 10 of you right now on YouTube and a 20-something elsewhere, go give him a follow on Instagram. He is
like just hit 10K, and it's like such a good feeling to finally like see that all my like hard work is paid off.
Well, that's good for you because that means you get to become paid on Instagram
I
from
do, even though you don't make a lot, but still get
I know
paid.
the feeling. I'm paid on YouTube and Facebook, and so far I told you what I'd make. You'd laugh, but I don't need the money. It's fun.
Honestly, hey, it's money. So
I'll take it. Listen,
oh
look,
yeah, I'll take it. Yeah,
I'll take it. But but yes, this is his Instagram page. Go give him a follow. Just go. I try to watch some of this once in a while. I'll share it on my story. So if you are here, please follow Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah, I post a shit ton a day.
You
I try
post a lot.
to.
Well, no, but just follow it. Trust me, you won't.
I watch an insane amount of wrestling, and I love sharing it with all of my followers.
See, I should do that for backyard and underground wrestling, but as Jack Delta always says, I don't know enough about the moves. So let's move on, though. Enough about me. Let's see. We have more comments, and I have to find them. Boom. Co-part. Oh, okay. He's taking a shot at Nolan Money McDermott. I see.
Get him.
Get him. Okay, so because I may or may not have the goat of BY. Okay, I got that.
Dude,
okay.
if you fucking have Matt fucking Morris or any of those motherfuckers there, I'm going to fucking tweak about it, Chase. I swear to God, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
Well, this is the reason why you may want to tune in Wednesday night.
Oh my God, I will be there. I will be there.
Well, and people, if you want to, and if you want to petition your case to be on the wedding card, I will send you the link on Wednesday night. Put it that way. You want to be on the card? I will send you the link personally. Comatose, you have nothing on me. Another fan. Oh, these guys are getting warmed up. Who are you again? Considering you just mentioned me a bit ago, you know exactly who I am, pal. And clearly, you know who I am because you wanted to jump on the live. Yes, because there was a back and forth, a bunch of guys.
Yeah,
yes.
I was there. I think he more popped on not to talk to you, but more defend the other people in there because
pretty much
obviously all better than you. You just popped up like this, like in the last like 2 months. No one has ever heard of you before this. So please get off your high horse. Please stop thinking you make money. You don't make money. You can't lace our boots. You can't do shit. You beat Sean Jovi. Cool, great. He's like what in his 30s now. If he was in his prime,
one-on-one Jovi won. It was in an elimination match. To be fair.
Okay. And even if he was more in his prime than he is now, he would have twisted you into a goddamn knot.
And Jovi
he was around when Morris was around, and he could fucking go. So please go sit down somewhere in your little chair. I know you probably have school in the morning. Go take a nap. Go.
I think they're off this week, actually.
Oh, fantastic! We get to hear more.
And they're going to be here this week on Sportswire.
Right.
Yeah, and the IMF have jumped in here. No one said it.
Thank you, IMF. Thank you.
Comatose, what's wrong with Nolan Money McDermott? Your pro wrestling foot stomp.
I am, Chase. The people finally figuring it out. It's so fucking fun to find out that they've been fans of me and like there's like, holy shit, that's you. I'm like, yep, that's me.
Well, you want to be a fan of his? Go give him a follow. He just got to 10,000 followers.
I did, and I'm really hyped about it. I've been posting a lot of ROH Kenny Omega recently.
I have seen that. I have seen some of it. I do try to watch it. Okay. Yeah, you got to be here for the show. Yes, we want a lot of people here. What's wrong with him? The world may never know. Everyone knows who I am. Yes, we got to go with that. RTG said never heard of you before. All right. Well, I think we finally got to all the things in the chat. Big turnout for you tonight. We appreciate all that.
I'm glad to see that. Even with the bad news coming up.
Well, you know what it is? I think people just they don't want to talk about Election Day. They want to come on Sportswire and say we're electing to talk backyard and underground wrestling. But, I know it's been a lot of fun, and we just saw your pro wrestling foot stomp page, but I have to unfortunately break the fun. I have to unfortunately spoil it for everybody because sadly, your career in the backyard wrestling circuit is coming to an end as of January 7th, 2025, because you have decided to now end your career and pursue a career in pro wrestling, amongst other things. And I wanted to obviously give you the opportunity to talk about this and just anything else that you might want to say what has led you to this decision.
as much as I love backyard wrestling, as much as I love BTW and I love being there and I love seeing all the guys there, and as much as I'm going to miss them and miss it, it is just time for me to move on. Uh, I've done really everything I think I can do for BTW. I mean, obviously, I'd love to win the world title. I'd love to win the tag titles with someone. But even if I don't do that, even if I don't do that next season, that'll be fine with me. Um, After everything that's happened to me in my life for regarding, I mean, there's been a lot more bad than there has good. I mean, BTW has obviously brought the good back into my life, but I'm just reminded by a lot of things when I'm thinking about backyard wrestling, and that's not anybody's fault but mine, because I was kind of a dick back then, but I think it's just time for me to move on and move on with my life, and I'm with a girl right now that I think is really the one, and I
Good.
don't want to put our life on hold any longer than it already has been,
Mm-hmm.
because I've wanted to just know that is the end. And after this season, honestly, I made the decision that day, like minutes before I even posted that, even before I typed it out. Like I even told Ryan, I was like, "Hey, this is my last show indefinitely. Like I'm not coming back. This is my last one." I was just kind of sitting on my porch, kind of just watching the sunset, and I was like, "I think it's a good time. I think it's the best time to just end it right here," because it's BTW is going to be in the ring hopefully, and honestly, ending my
You
back.
didn't hear that.
Everybody fucking knows.
I know nothing about this.
Ending my backyard wrestling career in a ring is going to be more heart touching than people can imagine. And honestly, if you want to face me, if you want to even be fucking around me and just know everything that I know, please come out to Oregon, January 1st to the 7th. I know it's really short notice. I know we're only like barely 2 months away, but it'll be worth it. Every cent that you use on this trip, you will go back to your home place, wherever the hell you are, with more knowledge, more friends, more friendships, and a just good fucking time than what you had before.
If
Because
I were to
as I
tell
said,
you, though, go ahead, jump in.
BTW is a family, and we will treat you like family. We are like brothers in fucking arms, and we wrestle our heart's content, even if our bodies are battered, broken, and bruised. We are going to try to put on the best goddamn wrestling. And trust me, if you want to come out to BTW, and even if I'm not there, even if it's not my taping, if it's like a later taping, because I know they do multiple tapings sometimes, just come out and wrestle for BTW. And I fucking promise you it'll be worth it. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Please go to BTW and wrestle, because they are the best of the best.
I know it's going to be worth it, but if I were to tell you on the bright side, to quote Mr. Brightside here, but you've done a lot of things, I think, in the last year or two to maybe rectify some of the things in the first stint you had in the yard. And
You know, when I first announced I was coming back to backyard wrestling, I'd actually gotten kicked off a super show because a former friend of mine had actually said I was dangerous and all that, even though I really wasn't. I mean, like, I was just kind of a douche canoe, if I'm being honest, but like that really did hurt. And then I was really even hesitant to go to BTW because I didn't want Ryan to be disappointed, because Ryan is actually, I mean, we were at each other's throats for some time, and then like we ended up becoming friends. And then like me traveling alone in there to some shit, I just didn't want them to me to break their expectations or me to be lower, and then me going above and beyond their expectations and then coming back again this year and then going back again next year really proves that like I love to be a part of BTW. I love to be a part of their family. And as much as like I try to rectify the past, I really can, because the past is the past and we can't change it. Is I can apologize like 3 million times over, but I know like some of those guys will never forgive me, even like even if I think they should, or even if I don't think they should.
But you know what, though? But you've been, you know what? Listen, we can't change the past, right?
Of
But
course,
what
yeah.
you've done I know I've only known you for like 3 or 4 months, but from what I see is that you are a stand up guy. And do believe that you've been here. You've been a really good presence. You know a lot about this sport. You have a hunger for it. I think you've done really good here. Credit to BTW by bringing you in, and you've been here, and huge part of the company's success. And I think in a lot of ways, you're ending it at the right time. Sometimes, in sports, athletes struggle with, when am I going to retire? Is this going to be my last moment? Should I go and hang on for a little while longer? But I think with everything coming into fruition and here in BTW, the success, and I'm not going to talk about what you sort of maybe implied until maybe after the season here another month or so. I'll talk about plenty of it then. But you're ending it, I think, kind of maybe at the right moment where you're never going to have it maybe as good as you're going to have it coming up between now and these next 2 months. So you can look at it from that way.
I think the work I've been putting in, even if I go back and watch some of my matches and be like, I could have done that differently. I could have sold that differently. I think I've put on some of the best work in my career. And watching me younger in WWA, MVW, JNA, like I just don't move or even think the way I probably think now. And I can just see that in the way I wrestle. And honestly, like I'm really blessed to be in BTW. And I could be somewhere on a shindy right now, just fucking getting paid fuck all. But instead, I'm in BTW having the time of my fucking life. I'm living in Nebraska right now, obviously in my hometown, just on my farm, and I'm just always thinking about BTW. I'm always thinking of how I could change their game, how I could make their product better, how I could book something for them, how I could make something for them, how I could put someone over, do whatever I can to make them the king of the underground, of backyard wrestling, of whatever the hell you want to call it.
Well, you've done a heck of a job, and you've been to break the fourth wall a little bit for that. You have been an integral part of that. You have been here and you've helped these guys. Comatose, I think, has gotten a lot better from being around guys like you. Obviously, we've seen what you've done with Swift and Steven Storm. I mean, you put Steven Storm wherever he goes going forward. He's going to owe some gratitude to you. We think about what we've seen with you in Blackout and just what you, I think, have done for that company. That's a company that, we talk about all the time. Really, this is a company that should lead the way going forward in the backyard circuit. And I think that you played an integral role to that. So regardless of what happens, I think that you're going out in the best way possible, and you're helping this company grow leaps and bounds. So, whatever happened 5 years ago, 4 years ago, you can't change it, right?
And
But what you've done here in BTW, you've been an outstanding citizen. You've been fantastic in the ring. You've helped these guys. And I think that BTW is only going to get better from here because of you. And I think whatever you're going to do going forward, you're going to do great at. You're going to excel, and obviously credit to you by having, a good family situation now, and you said you have a job now, and you have things that have put you in the place that where you're going to be. And I think that we're all proud of you here on Sportswire. Well, namely me, really. But we're all proud of you. I think that in the community, and I think everybody in BTW is proud of you. And I think whatever BTW is about to do, it's going to really be in part to what you helped in getting those guys. In many ways, you're almost like when a veteran player comes into a team, whether it's any sport, right? And they're a team that they're starting to gel and, they're on the cusp of winning. In many ways, you coming to BTW helps BTW in that way to where they get over the hurdle, they get over the finish line, and they're about to have greatness. And I think with what BTW will do, and we'll talk about that when that time comes, BTW is on the verge of real greatness, prolonged greatness that I think we're going to be looking at BTW in this generation alongside ROEW in the backyard circuit and saying BTW is the New York Yankees of the backyard wrestling circuit because of the way they conduct themselves, who plays for them, and just you're going to want to be in that BTW ring. You're going to want to wear that BTW shirt. And you played a huge role in that, good sir.
honestly, RJS, I think, says that a lot too, and I appreciate the hell out of him. And as you said, I think this is the right time for me to just finally move on. Um, but of course, I'm always going to be watching BTW whenever I can.
I think a lot
I,
of people watch BTW. You're not alone.
whenever I have free time, I will always watch BTW because those are my family, my second family. I am
And
the
we love them here.
Nebraskan son of Oregon. I love traveling there, even though planes, I fucking hate planes. But every
Well,
time I'm
I
there,
haven't flew either. I think I've told the story 1,000 times.
yeah.
I flew and I won't fly since.
No, this is my first time really traveling alone. I mean, that was my first, like the first time I showed up in
Yep.
BTW. That was the first time I've flown on a plane. That was the first time I traveled alone. I was
Wow.
in a new area. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, but I got through it because of them. And then I decided to go back, and now I'm going back again. So
And I
I
think, yeah, go
I
ahead.
love BTW, and again, I will say, if you want to be in BTW, please, for the love of God, reach out to them, because they will bring you in with open arms, and they will give you fucking. I mean, like obviously, not everyone can be a goddamn champion, but they will work with you as much as they can to work around whatever you want.
Well, before I do anything and before I stand corrected on a comment I just made about the Yankees, you want to get in touch with BTW, I would highly encourage you give them a follow on Instagram. Trust me, for whatever reason it's showing I don't follow them, but I do follow them because it's my stupid laptop. We had this problem with Maxwell Reeves in BCW, but please follow them. Get in touch with them. I promise you, the class and the professionalism that this company has. I deal with a lot of independent wrestling companies overseas, and they don't have the class and professionalism that this company has. Please go out and support them. You will not be disappointed. They have a show tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern time. That's what I'm voting for. I'm voting tomorrow to watch BTW tomorrow. I'm not voting and telling people who my presidential candidate is. My candidate, who I'm voting for, is BTW Season 6, Episode 141, Main Event, BES, Comatose, and Jacob Frost. That's my vote, and that's how it's going to be tomorrow on election night. That's my vote. Join me in going to vote for BTW. Trust me on that. You will not be disappointed. This vote you'll be very happy for. But yeah, that was a good vote there. But yeah, I didn't mean. The Yankees did lose the World Series, but I meant in terms of the Yankees and how they've conducted themselves the last 100 years. And I'm not a Yankees fan, by the way. I'm
No, I
actually
retract everything I said. Nolan, you can't come to BTW. Sorry about that, brother.
Actually, he would be interesting in BTW. He's a big guy. He looks like Triple H in the ring, and yeah, BTW definitely.
Wait. Is it BTW? Is it Triple H after the surgery, or before the surgery time? Because
I
it's
would
two
say
different.
I say before the 2001 quad injury. I do. He looks like him. He's got the height. He does the pedigree well. I mean, he's got something about him. That's what I think. I mean, I happen to back him. I do think he's good in the ring, and I do think that his friends in Kewanee, Illinois, from STBW, Small Town Backyard Wrestling, if they can find a way to Roseburg, they would add something. I do endorse him. I endorse him. I think he should get up to Oregon. I don't know if he'll get there. I mean, and I'm going to have him here on Sportswire this week, and I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to ask this young man his friends. And also, I got Chase Wakefield. Before I do anything, before I get to Chase, also, yes, thank you, Arch. Yes, the Dodgers won the World Series. I think I meant for the last 100 years, though. But yes, I do know the Dodgers won the World Series. But Mr. Wakefield would like to say this, though. This is a shame. I can't promise anything, Jacob, but I'll try my damnest to get out there to have a match if you want it.
Well, shit, Chase. If you want to come out, you can certainly come out. I know Ryan will welcome you with open arms, and we'll welcome you there.
And Mr. Wakefield's friends with Navon McDonald, who, by the way, is hosting the next BTW show. I'm sure that Mr. Wakefield and Mr. RJS, they know each other. I'm sure of that.
Probably.
Okay, so there you go. But I think, Mr. Wakefield, you need to get your ears checked a little bit because Mr. Frost kind of let in something that we won't talk about.
We're not going to be trampoline anymore, Chase. We got
you. Basically, Mr. Wakefield.
Hopefully.
Well, Mr. Wakefield's here Wednesday night. I'm going to ask Mr. Wakefield about this to remind him. That's all. I'm going to remind him on that. But and he says he gets on planes all the time. Wouldn't mind taking one to Oregon. So I tell you what. I tell you what, Mr. McDermott's going to be here. If I think Mr. McDermott, you available Saturday night? Your friends in Kiwanee available Saturday? I got nobody booked Saturday. You want to come on Saturday night? I'm going to address this.
Well,
I'll ask.
you come on January 1st to the 7th, and I'll kick your ass right back to Illinois.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to ask him this. I'm going to ask him this because I have a feeling Mr. McDermott's going to be back here. Maybe even tomorrow. You know what, Mr. McDermott? You available tomorrow, actually? I mean, it's election night. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be on CNN anytime soon. I think after some of the things I've said on Sportswire, even though I do have a political background, I'm trained. I worked in the New York State Senate, but I don't think the state Senate's bringing me back anytime soon. Mr. McDermott, maybe tomorrow night we should have our own election night special. And have STBW. Maybe that should be. Oh, he's available Saturday. We'll do Saturday. And Mr. Wakefield's available tomorrow night. I mean, boy, we'll have to see. Maybe tomorrow night we should be on tomorrow. And he's available tomorrow. Well, you know what? Who knows? Maybe
have everyone on. Just have them.
You know what? I think I might do that tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we should do that because I don't think I'm being invited to CNN tomorrow. And he says anytime. He's available anytime now. Stay tuned. Maybe we will be on tomorrow to talk about this because if STBW is declaring war. Now, let me ask you something. I know I'm going to get to the main event to end the show, but these guys in Illinois, now I know it's not your decision. These guys just wrestled Sean Jovi, Nicholas Crenson, guys are in IMF and James Marshall and other people. Do you think, though, that these guys who were in, let's just say, Wisconsin, do you think they could hang though with the likes of yourself and RJS and Comatose and Swift and Blackout and BS? You think that's Tyler Fury? Do you think that Peyton and Dalton the Executioner and Nolan McDermott, can they hang with you guys? Do you think they could?
If they're anything like Comatose, they might blow our expectations out of the water, but they certainly aren't better than us. We have the experience along with the knowledge.
So you think then, like, when it's different if they're going up against these dinosaurs, these veteran guys, older guys that, probably...
as much as I hate to say it, age can be a bigger difference than you think. And, as much as they can say that the younger guys or what the hell ever, we are probably around the same age as all of them. I mean...
Yeah, they're about 19, 18, 19.
Then probably, like, maybe the biggest age difference is probably RTG, obviously, but...
Well, we're not going to go there.
He's like 1,000 years old or something.
Well, you know what? I'm going to leave that at that. But before I get to the surprise, so you do think, though, that these guys in Illinois, if they can make it to Roseburg, you think they should show up? I mean, what do you think on that? I mean,
Tom, if they're about to get in the goddamn stream, I'm going to be very, very upset.
No, it's not
okay.
They're not the surprise.
I won't be upset, though.
No, they're not. They're not the surprise. Actually, the surprise is to sell tomorrow's main event, which you can pretty much.
Oh shit!
I have to.
If they would like to come and try to hang with us, they can certainly fucking be invited.
Well, I think tomorrow we're gonna probably. Because I have a feeling tomorrow. I don't think any of us in the backyard circuit are invited to election night parties between the Harris and Trump campaigns. I don't think we're being invited. I mean, I know I'm invited to like the local campaigns, which I really want to see my state senator again. Probably not. He might want to ask for my checkbook again, but I think that we might be seeing Mr. McDermott tomorrow. Mr. Wakefield's available tomorrow, so we'll see about that. So I'll ask those individuals then, and you wish it was me giving you the spotlight, but okay, I'm going to hold off on him for a minute because I have to sell tomorrow's main event. I'll come back to him to end the show, but he's here. And who did you think I was talking about?
Probably like Kermit the Frog. I don't know.
Well, I saw you did start to make it wait about 30 minutes longer than you would have, but we had a big crowd tonight. Actually, a big crowd tonight. So I'm sure Comatose, I am sure you're very happy to know that I've decided that my vote is going to BTW tomorrow. I'm electing to watch the main event of Comatose, Jacob Frost, and BES. That's my vote tomorrow.
That is one hell of a vote.
The best.
Now, obviously, I'll let Mr. McDermott simmer for a little bit to end the show. We'll do that. But we have a main event tomorrow, and it's a big one. It's a big one here. We close out this season, and you and Mr. Frost are going to see each other, but this time with an added element, to a family that you've been dealing with now for several months. And BES. Comatose, you are on your way to being the GOAT of BYW. You're an interpromotional god. You are a man of many championships. But what can we expect from you tomorrow night? Main event, season 6, episode 141.
What you can expect from me is my absolute best.
Okay.
Because of this simple
Right.
fact. Because of the simple fact that while I know that just a couple weeks ago I did pin you, Jacob, I am not without the know-it-all of knowing that that match could have ended very differently. Very, very differently. Put on one hell of a banger, and especially around towards the end when we started going crazy, I was starting to get a little worried, for sure. Not to mention, of course, the added factor of BES, who is someone I have never beaten. Even when I did put 100% into a TLC match with him, I still couldn't get it done. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to put 110% in and almost kill myself to beat two of the very best in the.
Okay, a lot to talk about there. And obviously, Frost and you have some recent history. And I'll ask the same question to you, Comatose. We're coming toward the end of the season here in BTW. And how important is it for you to continue your momentum that you've had for the most part this season?
It is very important for me to keep the momentum that I have going, but it's not necessarily about, at this point, me picking up wins, except for one. There is one win that I need to get before I even think about leaving BTW, and that is against BES. I need to pin him. Oh, and RTG, of course. Of course, Mr. Jacob Frost would be nice to go against up, one more time again. We could fucking tear the house down again for sure too. But the fact of the matter is, I came to this company with a vow to become the greatest backyard wrestler of all time. And you cannot become the greatest backyard wrestler of all time if there's a hump you can't get over. And my hump is BS right now.
I called him, as I'm sure you heard this at the beginning of the show. He is the magician of the backyard wrestling circuit right now. He is a man. He is our Houdini. You called him Houdini. He is our David Blaine. I mean, he's a guy that we're going to probably read about in backyard wrestling books, if there's such a thing, 50 years from now. And that's going to be a tall order for you tomorrow night. It's going to be a very tall order. You got history with Frost. Frost has obviously talked about now officially that his BYW career is coming to an end. He's still going to want to go end it with a bang, and you can't lose sight of that. So it's going to certainly be a tall task for you tomorrow, good sir.
It will be a ginormous task. But to get a little off topic here, on that news, I just want to say, Jake, from the bottom of my heart, without people like you and Derek, I don't even think I would have even probably ever came to BTW. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been wanting to face you for a very long time in my career. Even when I was taking that 4-year absence, I did tune in, and I definitely did recognize your talent. And you definitely are top 3 in the top 3 people that I came back for. And I'm very thankful that I came back at the right time to put on that type of caliber match with you.
Well, that means a lot for me to hear. Honestly, that means a lot. And I'm very glad because, as I've said in the past, you've blown my expectations out of the water, and you only get better with time. And I know you're looking to stay in BTW full time now. That's what I'm hearing anyway from fucking RTG. Keeps yelling shit in the back, But honestly, if you take a place. If you take my place in that outsider thing as a full timer, then I'm glad that it is you. And I'm not too sure who else is going to be there for my final days as a yarder, but whoever is there, I will be glad to share them with whoever. even if I have to listen to RTG talk about himself 24/7,
or try to muster up nicknames.
or try to.
Well, I mean, we'll certainly figure that out, but we have a huge, huge show tomorrow. And in many ways, you guys are going to be in each other's way. And it sounds like to me, though, BES with what he does, he could just kind of almost, to use the football term, kind of come right through the middle there and get a victory over you guys.
Well, I know Comatose has said he's never beaten BS. I've beaten BS, but I've also lost to BS. It's very you can do shit that people can fucking dream.
Oh,
of.
we talked about it a few weeks ago when he jumped off.
It's you know, I just
His little ass powerbombed me through 2 tables.
yeah, he it dropped me on my neck more times than I can count the last 2 seasons. So. Fucking inverted Frankensteins like name destroyers. I don't know how the hell he keeps reversing my shit.
I just want to break the fun up to tell you that RTG would like to say that these guys are so jealous of me and my abilities. And he would also like to further add that the Winers Bowl is about to start. College bowl season's next month, but I'll give him that. I know BES isn't coming in because he's at work, so it must be Winatos. Winatos. He's calling me Winatos.
That's a new one.
RTG, if your talent is walking like you have a peg leg all the time, then I would not. I don't want it. I would like to walk normally. Thank you.
I will say this: this man has an immaculate talent for creating talent. I'll say that.
Well, obviously he doesn't like making money because he was about to not give our match to us. So. Well, you know, it's a hit or miss with RTG, I guess, sometimes. So.
Well, he seems to be hitting a lot more than missing because
this
he's still on.
This next match is a banger. That's a good one. That's a good booking for sure.
It's a great booking. Not good. It's great. You kidding?
Yeah,
The main event. That's why I'm voting. Listen, I'm voting for BES, Comatose, and Jacob Frost. That's my vote tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's what I'm voting for.
As I said, Tom, besides that main event, I have a huge announcement that I think you'll be interested in as well, Comatose. That's going to rock November to remember once that comes up. So we're cooking in this last month, and then this really is the last of Jacob Frost. So just getting all ready for that.
We'll find out. I mean, obviously, we're excited. You know, we want to certainly let everybody know one more time. I'm going to put that YouTube link up for people. So if you can go out and watch BTWs, I'm going to be there in the chat. I know Zilla is going to be there. So you need to join me tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern time. And that's BTW's link to watch season 6, episode 141. And that is the aforementioned Jacob Frost there. That is BES to my left. And to my right, that's Comatose, the interpromotional god. And you're going to see a whole list of other things. You're going to see not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 November to remember matches here. It's going to be a blockbuster show, and you're going to want to watch it here. A lot of comments, right? The last show is closing in on 1,000 views. 1,000 views. So we're going to pass that, and we're going to get everybody in here. I want to say hello to some people. Mr. BYW Blade would like to say hello. I missed him. I apologize. I want to say I apologize for missing you earlier. Steven Storm wants to say hello. He'll be back on Sportswire. And yes, Comatose, you want to say something?
No, I just said what up, Steven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Comatose, I did want to ask you something, and I don't want to bring up Nolan Moneymaker before we sign off there, but I do want to bring him up one more time, only because Mr. McDermott talked about maybe going to where you guys are in Oregon. I know you know him a little bit from Friday's stream, but do you think he and his cohorts in Illinois, do you think they would show up and stand a chance with you guys in BTW if that was something they wanted to do? Because I've received some messages from them now even. I mean, well, they're going to be on this week, may as soon as tomorrow, but you think that they could hang with you guys in Oregon? Oregon's a lot different than Wisconsin, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, elevation, humidity, everything. Actually, here's the big thing, the big capitalization, if they show up, I think that if they are also hungry enough, they could definitely stand a chance. But they have to, 1, show up, and 2, be hungry enough. As Jacob Frost was saying earlier, when he came back, he made it his goal to blow the expectations out of the water. When I came back, it was my goal to become the greatest backyard wrestler of all time. So if you guys are going to go to a caliber company like BTW, you better be Triple H.
You better put your working shoes on. Better put those premium knee pads
Well,
on.
he was
You're
wearing,
going
just to
work,
let you
you're gonna
guys
be
know,
out.
because I don't know what you know about him in the ring. He was wearing Nikes in the ring.
Oh, I was wearing LeBrons pretty much the entire season this season.
Yeah, I'm more of a Vans guy. Sorry about that.
Well, I wear old man New Balances, but I have 2 left feet. I mean, listen, to be honest, I have 2 left feet, but okay, well. Also, BYW Blade would like to say, I'll be there to see my brother, Comatose, kick some butt. Who knows? I mean, BES is always welcome if BES wants to come on, but that's obviously, he doesn't have to. Yeah.
I think BES thinks he's too cool for everything. That's why he never
I
comes.
think BES, what he does in the ring, he's a magician. Let the magician not reveal his tricks, right? Any good
I
magician
think he
doesn't
lets
reveal tricks.
his actions speak louder than his words. I think that's it.
You know what? And some people are like that. And that's nothing wrong with that. You know, your nemesis Swift is like that very much.
Yo, fuck that guy.
That's why I didn't want to bring him up. Even when the BCF3 came, they had to step up their game. See?
They hell did, and they sure as hell did.
And you know what? We'll have to find out. Here. But before I do anything else, before I get to some closing thoughts, I want to one more time also put BTW's Instagram page up. If you'd like to follow BTW, please give them a follow. I cannot stress enough that this is one of the best weekly running shows in the yard. It's got homegrown talent, some other big names. Season 7 is coming. I feel like it was yesterday. We were just talking about you guys coming on the first time 4 months ago. And here we are. We're talking about a new season. We're talking about new things we'll talk about, I'm sure, down the road. And so many great talents here. We've had so much fun with. And Steven Storm was here in the past. RJS was here a couple times. RTG is back, gentlemen, November 25th. I'm sure if you're not doing anything that day, if you'd like to say hello to RTG.
I think I'll be busy actually that day.
Okay. Well, if you are busy, obviously I can understand, but RTG will be here with his fans. He obviously wants to certainly talk about that. And yes, I would love to have you on here, by the way. I would love to have Blade come on. He's definitely welcomed. Yeah, let me know when you're ready to come back on, and I definitely would love to have you here. And yeah, I'm excited about tomorrow's show as well. That's my vote. I'm voting for BTW. That's what I'm voting for. I mean, and by the way, what a clever move by you guys holding a show on election night. People are sick and tired of this stuff already. They want to see something different. Boy, this is why BTW is changing the game. What time are the guys on tomorrow? Stay tuned. I don't know yet what time that is. That's a question that I'd have to ask Mr. McDermott and his cohort.
I'll definitely be watching the Chase one. I know that.
Well, Wakefield's here. Wakefield's here. He's here 8:30 Wednesday.
Okay.
No, I want to ask you, Comatose, before I let you, we get to close this. Now, this guy Chase Wakefield, I know you obviously, not getting married yet, at least I think, but his guy Wakefield's getting married and wants to do a wrestling show, a wedding show. You want to be invited to this wedding? You want to wrestle on it? Like, what do you think on that?
Absolutely. I think that is the boldest thing I've ever heard in my life.
How long? What do you think the over/under is on the marriage? I mean, you think it'll last longer than J-Lo and Ben?
I think she's gonna put the ring on immediately if Matt DeMora shows up.
And this is funny here. I think he's saying make backyard wrestling great again is his vote. I see. Clever. He's saying,
go to bed, RTG. God damn.
Well, he said backyard wrestling. He didn't imply let's give him a break. He didn't. It's okay. Sean Jovi has a similar thing. Also, Nolan McDermott also wants to be at the wedding. You know what? Well, why not? I mean, at this point, Chase Wakefield said I'm going to invite 500 people, and he's going to eventually have so many people there that he won't know what hits him. And pretty much, yeah. So, you can add that in the list. Yeah, we'll have maybe Nolan McDermott and Comatose wrestle on that wedding show.
I'd love.
Yo, Chase, I think you should ban that guy from your wedding.
No. I think I don't know about that.
Wasn't he not all fucking night long just acting like everyone knew who he was, and now here you are? I'd love to wrestle at this wedding and show everyone who I am.
Well, tomorrow I'm sure. what I could say is if Mr. McDermott is here tomorrow, and I'm here tomorrow, which is a very likely possibility, I'm sure he'll be greeted by a lot of people tomorrow. I'm sure Mr. McDermott will be greeted by many.
I'll be there to watch the shit show.
Kid.
I don't think I think his ring ability is going to certainly be different than others, but I think obviously, look, we'll find out. All I could say is we'll find. Okay, before we move on, do you guys want to say anything else about tomorrow's show before we sign off for the evening?
Oh, it's gonna be a fight. I think there's not gonna be a lot of wrestling, and there's not usually in a triple threat. It's more of a let's see who wins first, I guess. So, I think the complexity of Comatose' style, the high flying of BES' style, and the powerhouse striker of my style is really gonna mix and match together, and I think it's gonna be one hell of a main event. And honestly, it's not for anything. So whoever wins, I guess, just has bragging rights, which is fair, because this is a big match in the closing ends of the season. So
thank God, because I need a break from defending titles. Holy shit! God damn.
Sorry, brother. RTG's gonna give you extra work.
Well, we'll find out. Do you want to say anything else, Comatose, about tomorrow's show before the main event?
I will definitely just say that I'm gonna go in there very intellectually, not so much with the amount of adrenaline that you came in with during our match, Frost. I'm definitely coming in using my brain, because this is going to be a chess game for sure.
And we know RTG loves the chess and checkers references, by the way. Just so
he always does.
This for you tomorrow.
Okay, well, Steven Storm, add him to the list on Wednesday. So you want to make your case, Steven Storm, 8:30. Chase Wakefield's here Wednesday, and I'll let Chase Wakefield know. This Wakefield guy, he's going to be worth, he's going to have to spend probably $1 billion on this wedding now, because everybody now wants to go to this wedding. So, we'll add him to the list.
Everyone's going to bring him a toaster, and it's going to be hell.
Do they give like toasters when you get married? I don't know. Do they give you that?
I think I've seen a lot of like kitchen appliances, because you get married and people are just like, oh, you're moving in together.
You know what? I should have. When my mother got remarried 6 months ago, I should have paid attention, but I was actually like, I got to go on Sportswire. So I was there and left.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I got to go on Sportswire now. So that was that. But okay, great stuff there. I want everybody to follow BTW and certainly support Jacob Frost and Comatose. Comatose, I'm going to give you the floor first. I want to give you some closing thoughts. I'm going to put up your Instagrams. Everybody can get in touch with you. And the floor is yours, my friend. And fire away, good sir.
All right. Well, I do just want to say this one thing for sure. I want to apologize to my fans because unexpected. Yes, I know. I come on with so much unexpected. It's not anything. It's not like anything serious. I just want to apologize for the lack of content that I haven't been putting out recently. I have been kind of lacking on the social stuff,
but you've been here actually plenty, so it's okay.
Yeah. That's true. I've been on a lot.
But go ahead, you were saying?
But I do want to reassure everybody that I am definitely going to start being more consistent again. My personal channel is going to start being more consistent again. I'm more than likely going to be posting clips of my BTW action on my personal channel, just so that my longtime fans can see what's going on if they're not tuned in. And other than that, I am just incredibly ecstatic that I'm about to beat two of the best in the yard tomorrow. It's going to be crazy.
Well, I'm sure one of them will disagree with that, but I will say that certainly when you put that footage up, certainly we're going into the brief off season here. We can definitely talk about those on Sportswire. We can go watch them with you and talk about some of the things that happened. So I look forward to doing that. That is Comatose's Instagram page. So if you're here still, go give him a follow. We would appreciate it. And also here, if it ever came down to it, I could never kill the legend of Comatose. He is a legend. He's got every ounce of my respect, and he's got my respect as well. And that's why I'd like everybody to follow him. And we appreciated him coming on here for a little while. But we want to pass the baton to you, Mr. Frost, and give you some closing thoughts. And I'd like to give you the floor. I'll put up your Instagram while we do that. Actually, I'm going to put up the Pro Wrestling Foot Stomp page because we got
But you should
10,000
put up
followers.
my page too, so people can go buy my merch. Please buy.
I'm gonna do. Well, I'll do two. We'll do two of them. How about two? So we'll go here first. You get
yeah.
closing thoughts with this, and then I'll go switch it right back into the middle of closing thoughts.
I'm very excited for what's to come in BTW. This triple threat is definitely going to be the start of the end of Jakob Frost, and all I know is I'm going to be putting on banger after banger. I know Comatose said he's sorry about the lack of content, but you know what? Fuck it. What? Start posting more Comatose, goddammit. But BTW again is like a home to me, and I'm very glad to end my career there. And whoever wants the hell to come out and watch me end my career there, come the fuck out and watch us. Come wrestle with us, for the love of God, please. There's me and Ryan right there. Look at that guy, both bald.
That is a crazy picture.
Right, like watching him get his haircut was crazy. Like in real time, I was like recording, and I have the regular phone. I'm like,
I couldn't.
But
hair just get buzzed off, bro.
Well, Blade wants to say that he's very sad to see you leave, and he's been impressed with your career. But you know, the good news is we still
time. It's just time for me to move on to bigger, better things.
You gotta be happy. You gotta be happy. You gotta do what's best for you. I think you're ending at the right time, and you know, I would like to say this before I let you, run and Comatose run, because we know we have to get prepared for that main event coming up here. But hopefully you would like to accept going into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame before January of 2020.
I would love that, Tom. Whenever the hell you can have me, I would gladly.
Well, I would like to do that hopefully in the next month or so. So that way,
that's fine with me.
Oh, well, I'm happy you accepted, because Big Man Cam at ROEW is like, well, I've got to earn my keep, and I need more appearances.
I feel like I've done enough in the yard to earn the Sportswire Hall of Fame.
I think you did after the first appearance, but good news is, in the meantime, you've always got a home here. Yes, you definitely have a home in Roseburg, Oregon. In God's country, definitely God's country, one of my favorite places out there. Definitely, please support our friends in BTW. That is Jakob Frost. Go support him. Buy some merchandise. Buy some BTW merchandise like I have. Comatose has got shirts on there. Jakob Frost has got stuff on there. BES, RJS, everybody you like. Go support them. They're definitely about all wrestling matters. They have a great show coming up here at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Definitely be there or be square. That's my vote tomorrow. I'll be in the chat. I know Zilla's going to be there. Join me. It's going to be a hell of a show, hell of a main event here. Triple threat. It's going to be Comatose, Jakob Frost, and BES. Banger after banger. BTW has always got the best is yet to come, and definitely BTW is always in prime time, the brightest lights at the biggest stage.
Always.
Gentlemen, it was fun as always. I have a feeling we'll be seeing each other very, very soon. And Mr. Wakefield will probably have to make room for you on Wednesday's show to put you on the card. I am sure we'll talk a lot about that, plus a number of other things, and we'll see you guys, I have no doubt, very soon. And these guys in Illinois, these STBW guys, I'm sure I'll be hearing a lot about you if they're here tomorrow and if I'm here tomorrow, which I think is a good possibility. But until then, gentlemen, I thank you guys so much. Mr. Frost, I'm not congratulating you on your BYW career yet, because we have a lot of wrestling still to talk about, and I'll do that when that time comes in a few months. But until then, can't wait for the main event. Looking forward to it, and keep up the good work, fellas, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you.
All right, that was the interpromotional guide, the one and only Comatose, the GOAT of BYW, and the Whiskey Star himself, the Bronze Bulldog, Jakob Frost. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. And if you're here on Sportswire Radio, I'll be back here probably tomorrow. Stay tuned for more details, but 6 o'clock, BTW 8136 on YouTube, Season 6, Episode 141. These two guys are going to be part of the main event alongside BES. I'll also be here Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Chase Wakefield. I'm here at 3 o'clock Eastern Time with Rico Justice and A-Dog of Cutlery Championship Wrestling in the UK. Maxwell Reeves is here on Thursday afternoon, and Jake Dvorak. So a number of different shows. They got some variety like Baskin Robbins, but until then, last comment from RTG. Tomorrow is the NFL trade deadline, so get out there and make a trade. So, yeah, I hadn't forgot about that. Yeah, vote. Go vote. Go make a trade. Watch BTW. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters.